Welcome to the deep dive. So you flagged some interesting stuff happening with Bitcoin.
Yeah, definitely some movement worth looking at.
Right, so let's dig into that. Our goal today really is to get a handle on Bitcoin's recent performance, where it fits in the market right now and maybe what's next. We're using info from April 15th, 2025.
Exactly.
So yeah, is this just typical crypto ups and downs, or is there maybe something bigger going on here?
Well, that's the key question, isn't it? And this snapshot from the 15th gives us some pointers. Bitcoin's trading around, what, $84,891?
Uh-huh.
It's up a tiny bit, like 0.5% from the day before. But, it did swing a bit during the day.
Okay, what were the highs and lows?
Yeah, it hit about $86,259 on the high end
Mm.
and dipped down to around $84,470. So, some movement.
Right. On its own, maybe not huge news. But the thing that jumped out at me from what you shared was how this compares to, say, traditional stocks.
Exactly. That's where it gets interesting.
Because the stock markets have been, well, pretty volatile lately, right? Much bigger swings than this Bitcoin movement.
Precisely. And that relative quietness or stability in Bitcoin compared to equities.
Mhm.
Well, analysts are suggesting this might signal a bit of a shift.
A shift in what way? Like how people are thinking about it.
Yeah, potentially. Maybe investors are starting to see digital assets like Bitcoin differently, less purely as a massive gamble, perhaps.
And more like something else.
Maybe more like a component, something to have in the mix, especially when other markets are turbulent. A bit of diversification.
Interesting. A move towards perceived stability. Okay. Now, you also mentioned something about big companies, institutions.
Ah, yes. The institutional interest. That's another key piece.
The data showed a pretty big jump, right? 16.1% increase in Bitcoin holdings by publicly traded companies just in Q1 of 2025.
That's one. And that's 16.1%. It's significant. It's not just dipping a toe in.
No, that sounds more like a serious allocation. What does that signal, really?
Well, it signals confidence, doesn't it? A belief in Bitcoin's potential beyond just quick profits. It suggests they see it as a strategic asset for the longer term.
Right. And does that kind of institutional buying, does it affect the market stability we were just talking about?
It certainly can, yeah.
Yeah.
Having these large, often long-term holders can provide a bit of a floor, maybe dampen some of the wilder swings driven by, purely speculative trading.
Okay, so we've got this picture. Bitcoin showing relative calm while stocks are choppy and big institutions are buying more. What could shake things up? What should we be watching?
Good question. The source material points to two main areas, really. Regulation is always looming.
Always, yeah.
Any changes there, whether it's more clarity or maybe more restrictions, that can definitely sway the market sentiment and just the ease of adoption.
Makes sense. And the second thing?
The broader economy, macroeconomic factors, think inflation, interest rates, how central banks are acting. Exactly. Those big picture things influence how investors allocate capital across all asset classes, and Bitcoin's no exception.
So it's kind of internal crypto factors like rules
Yeah.
and external economic forces. Both matter.
Precisely. You've got to keep an eye on both to really understand the potential path forward.
Okay, quick recap then. As of mid-April 2025, Bitcoin's showing these modest gains, but maybe more importantly, it's looking relatively stable compared to stocks.
Right.
And this is happening alongside, well, pretty strong buying from institutions,
A significant increase, yeah.
all of which might suggest investors are maybe viewing Bitcoin a bit differently now, less pure speculation, more stable asset potential.
That seems to be the narrative emerging for the data, yes.